Hello everyone, and welcome to a third age Total War online multiplayer battle for CAIR ANDROS, where right now we've got some men of Gondor who are currently trying to defend the fort from not only the orcs of Mordor, but strangely enough, high elves too, way over here. Now, the current battle that you're looking at was sent to me by one of you, which is very cool of you to do, so thank you for that, and feel free to send me any replays that you do have. I can't always organize multiplayer battles whenever I want to. I record a lot, so trying to find that time to actually do that can kind of be a challenge. You gotta be on at the right time in order for people to be able to join you. But if you look over here, we've got some high elves, some Mythalon nobles who are beginning to move up. I remember when they were added in. I love them so much. The high elves are one of my favorite factions of all time. I mean, a few of you might remember Metamalkin, a very incredible character of mine who was able to defeat Sauron back in my high elf campaign years ago. I haven't played 3rd Age Total War for a very long time. Okay, Smiths of Iregion. Now keep in mind, if I'm not pronouncing a word correctly, let me know and I will fix it. I will become better at that. I mean, I can understand that if you know how to pronounce it and you're hearing me butcher it, that can be a little bit off-putting. So don't worry, I'm not offended by it. Let me know and I'll do my best. I mean, remind me in each part if I keep forgetting. And eventually I'll learn and I'll know. We've got some Dunedain Knights back over here. The Kingdom of Arnor are here as well, helping out the Kingdom of Gondor. And they're all going to do an incredible job, I'm sure. They're not on the walls. I mean, they're trying to defend on the interior right now. But if you don't know what CAIR ANDROS is, to let you know, it's a large river island in the Anduin River. Now, that would be to the east of the land of Anorian. And then it would also be north of Minas Tirith. It's a pretty mighty and important location, especially when you're trying to defend your lands up north from Mordor. It's a very easy location for them to pass through. I mean, imagine you don't have to actually navigate over a waterway. You could just walk there. But here we go. The kingdom, or whatever that you want to call it, the Mordorian orcs are on their way. They're kind of waiting back here. It's been a very long time since I've had a proper siege battle. That's one thing about Warhammer Total War that was not achieved correctly, siege battles, and I definitely get that, and I do miss having giant siege battles where you can just do whatever you want. Right now, the game's about to be battered down. And again, if you have any tips for me, a lot of you are veterans. I mean, I used to be one, in a way. I would only play medieval too. Now I play a variety of games, but if you have any tips for me to help me become a better player, then, you know, let me know. Help me become a better reviewer, a better commentator, whatever that you can help me with. But here we go. We've got the battle-ready Dunedain who are currently fighting the Mythalon nobles, and right now, I don't know how they're doing. If we look at it, I'm thinking that the Mythalon nobles are going to win. I mean, just because that is what it's telling me. But at the moment, what could be done to really help them out is to have archers right here shooting directly at them. Now, are they shooting over the wall? Usually, they would shoot in a straight arc, depending on where they're at. If they were shooting in a straight arc right here, these guys would be in big trouble. Their shields are on their left hand, not their right. Now, I really wonder if they can actually pull it off. If we look at it over here, they're pretty equal. We've got now orcs who are about to rush in. They're not really defending that side of the wall at all. Now, if you're going to defend one side, you might as well defend the other side. Right now, they're actually beginning to sally out.
The walls are no longer ours.
They're actually trying to flank these Eldar Spearmen. That's really curious. I don't know if I would do that. I'm not too sure. Pretty daring. I mean, sallying out is definitely a viable tactic. I do agree with that. But that is what I was worried about. Having the Smiths over here, then proceeding to hit them from behind. And do they not have armor piercing? I do not remember, but I believe they do, right? Either way, it's happening right now. And there they go. You know, playing Lord of the Rings or any type of game involved with that reminds me of Warcraft 3 and all the custom maps that I used to play. You would have a map based on the 2nd Age, and you'd have clans based around playing it. War of the Jewels was a very popular one based on the 1st Age. That was very popular. I mean, you had a lot of talented clans playing these games, and it was really an incredible amount of fun. It would have a bunch of secret events depending on what maps you were playing on, largely the 2nd Age, and I mean, it would require people to not leave, which could be a bit of a pain. All right, now these guys are not really reacting too much. They're just kind of standing around. Let's go look at what's happening over here as artillery shells are beginning to hit inside, which could do a lot of damage to the Fountain Guard. They do have these over here, but I mean, there's not really a lot of horsemen for them to worry about, or even wargs. Now, the Fountain Guard are beginning to move in too. There's heavy infantry who are now engaging. The Rangers are definitely taking heavy hits right now. The artillery and archers from the elves are really destroying them. Now over here, we've got some more Dunedain Rangers who are beginning to shoot down. And I feel like they're definitely doing a better job at getting kills in. I mean, they're hurting these Oryx over here, though they're definitely not getting enough to make a pivotal change for the battle. Now, the Mythic Nobles were doing well, but now they're outnumbered. And not as many of the spearmen were able to get up here. Or actually, are they all dead? The majority of them are now dead. It looks like the heavy infantry of men are currently winning. And down here, we have more spearmen fighting. Unfortunately for that group of infantry, they're now surrounded. Oh, there's two groups, right? Or did it die that quickly? No, there are two. And right now, they're dying quickly, which is kind of tragic to see, to watch them die like that. Mythic Nobles are over here. Yeah, they have a lot of infantry, and they have even more archers who are just able to shoot in. Now, that's where they have a great advantage. If you look at that, they get a great line of sight into the base. I mean, here, they can chill out. They can have a great time. They even have trolls fighting side by side with elves, which feels a little bit barbaric and traitorous. But hey, maybe one of them got the one ring and they became corrupted. And if we look over here, the Fountain Guard are largely unsupported, and because of that, they're not going to do very well. They're trying to play defensively, but with artillery being able to hit them, I wonder how that would go. I don't even know if their trebuchet's been able to shoot at them, or if it has been turned on. If we go look at it right now, it looks like the forces of good of Gondor and Arnor are clinging on so far. I'm really wondering what's going to happen, because I mean, in my head, I'm thinking about chess in a kind of weird way. You want to be able to support your men. You want to be able to lay traps to where if they take one, well, what would happen if they're flanked by another group? And that is a beautiful part about Medieval too. And I think what a lot of people really enjoy about it, not only mods, but the fact that battles last for a little bit of time. That way you can flank. That way it's really about how you position your men. And we just watched a friendly arrow kill their bannermen right here. The bannermen of the Fountain Guard were killed by their own. That's really tragic. They are actually being shot up by their own side big time right now. I mean, they were going to lose, but they're losing a lot faster right now. Okay, let's go check up over here. If you look at it, the Mythic Nobles are about to be eradicated. There's only 11 left. The nobility of Mithlin is now in huge trouble. There we go. Things are becoming pretty savage here. We have more archers who are beginning to march down. They're definitely taking their time fighting piece by piece their enemies. I mean, that's where the elves have a huge advantage. Very powerful and heavily armored archers. I mean, these guys are definitely top tier. I remember using them. I love them. And if we look over here, we've got even more Gondor infantry. Over here, Mythic Nobles are also fighting for another wall. It looks like they largely captured that wall. Now, what I would do here, I would have these archers turn around and begin to fire down or fire over here at the Fountain Guardsmen who are waiting and who are being taken apart. But we'll find out what they'll do in a little bit. Yeah, over here, they're definitely getting torn up. They're not going to last for too much longer. Looks like the forces of good are now beginning to take a big loss here. We saw the last of the Fountain Guardsmen stricken down. And now, I guess we'll find out what they'll be doing. Let's zoom in a little bit to kind of watch their movement. They're not really moving. Oh, wait, actually, there's one more fighting. He just killed one. There we go. Not really an axe weapon, but sure, if you want to beat him with a stick and you're pretty mad, all right. You can do that, I guess. I don't know. Here's another one. How many will he take down? Will he actually get enough kills to... Nope. Cut down from behind, Shadow of Mordor style. We've got two Blackroot Bell archers right over here. I mean, they're surrounded by the bodies of their kin. And another really cool part, I think, about Medieval, too, is that they're not always going to break like that. Like here, yeah, a majority may have died, but I mean, if they routed, they would just come back. So that way you're not having to micromanage constantly back and forth. I wonder if they'll actually get any kills now. I mean, there's only two of them. You usually need a lot more to be able to get kills. But over here, they're holding the wall. The archers are beginning to move in. I'm thinking that they'll probably want to use their archers to actually just shoot at them, to force their enemies to come at them. They do have more rangers who are now shooting down. But again, that artillery can do a lot of damage. A large chunk of rangers were just killed. And now they're sizzling. Now they're barbecue rangers. But here comes a lot of archers. Here's where you could potentially charge in and destroy all of their archers right here. You could potentially attack them here to keep them busy, to cut them off, and then you could then charge down and kill their archers. I'm not sure if that would win you the battle, but that would definitely be a way to hurt a lot more of them. We've got a lot more over here. Okay, the stakes would keep them back. There's 29 of them. We've got a lot of halberds. Wow. The Mirandan guard from the Black Gate. We've got more archers shooting in. We've got a few of them climbing up onto the wall, which will give them a nice line of sight perspective. Right now they're charging down, but they're not going to be able to get a great charge in. Only part of them will, because they're charging through their own men. You have one guy, he's like, yep, I'm still going. I'm not done yet. Let's go find out what he's about to do. Will he get a kill? Can he get a kill? Will he get more than one kill? I don't know. Oh, they finally drew out their weapon. He's surrounded. I don't know what he's going to do. And he's dead. No kills at all. He did a Elfroy Jenkins type of maneuver. And here we go. You've been cut down. Go check it real quick. It's back to being even. Yeah, charging down at the archers was a good call. I mean, you're going to have to eventually fight their melee, which I definitely wouldn't want to do at this point. I mean, they still have a lot of rangers who are not quite there at the same tier as elf archers or elven archers, but they are still very good. Here's Arnor Pikeman. The Trebuchet, I don't know if that's been firing at all. I really wanted to. I want to watch it rain down havoc upon their enemies. It's actually incredibly cool to be able to cover a battle and not quite know what is going to happen. I actually like that a lot. I find that really cool. We've got a while to go for our wild battle here. They're still going. We're gonna watch them fight here. Now, I won't be chatting the entire time. That way, from time to time, you can enjoy it. Now, I do chat a lot, so I can't assure you of that, but I will try. Yeah, the battle-ready Dunedain are outnumbered, but they're going to be able to put in some heavy losses here for the orcs and, of course, the elven faction that has betrayed the forces of good, of light, if you want to call them that. We have more archers out here. If we go look over here, we've got a ballistic crew who's trying to move in. And the troll catapult and the elven catapult, they should still be firing. They might be out of rounds or whatever they have. If we go look over here, a lot have died already. They're beginning to move up already. Now, I cannot even imagine how many they've lost just due to the catapults alone. Probably a great deal. They're not always accurate, but if they hit up here, that would be even worse. I don't think they're in range for that. I wonder if they're actually saving their rounds. I have no idea. Maybe they're like playing the long game, the long con here. Because right now, if you had them fire at that giant group, one hit alone would do a lot. The battle-ready Dunedain are now at only 11 men left. They're wavering. They're about to break. A good time to waver and break. Archers are now shooting down. A little bit of friendly fire is currently happening. But right now, they are still trying to endure that type of fight. Now we've got more Fountain Guardsmen who are holding. Yeah, I cannot believe how even it's been the entire time. That's really incredible to me. I did not anticipate that. I mean, if they're actually committing a lot of their infantry right now, they're going to be in trouble. Then Gondor might be okay. I mean, they do have more, but I wonder if the orc player is going to move in. Yeah, he's finally beginning to move in more. They were waiting. Oh, no. Ologai. They have how many? Oh, they have plenty. They have plenty to do a lot of damage. I know they're saving that, too. The halberds are beginning to move in. Let's go look at the battle real quick. It doesn't look like they have much left. I mean, they're saving their elites right now. They're both doing that. I actually haven't played it on multiplayer, so I don't even know if that's like a valid thing to do, but I suppose right now I'm gonna learn quickly if it is or not. Here we go. Now they're beginning to let loose hell. They're beginning to focus fire right down here. And if you look at it, they're getting stricken down. They're being struck down constantly as they're charging into battle. They're really beginning to rush in. The orc player too. I wonder if they were communicating on chat maybe. I don't know. There we go, another decent hit. Look at how many are charging in and how few are defending. But they are beginning to use their archers to great effect. They're using that saturation of fire, of arrows, to really begin to dim their numbers down. Over here is where they would want a catapult to actually hit. And right now, if you look at it right now, they're beginning to move their catapult. So maybe they didn't have the proper line of sight, I'm not too sure. Oh, we still have one Gondorian infantryman just kind of chilling out. He's like, you know what? It's a beautiful day. I shall now look at the beautiful day. And they're trying to kill him. He's like, no, I will look away.
They have lost half
Maybe if you ignore the elves, you can't actually be harmed by them. No one told me that. That's kind of a handy tip. I like it. Fountain guardsmen are over here. If that was our own catapult, that went awry. Wow. A devastating blow for that group. But they are so grouped up. Look at that. They're now beginning to strike in, and they're going to get a lot more kills. So here we go. Maybe they were in fact saving, though the ballistas are going to easily take out their catapults. I mean, that's what they're meant for. Very accurate fire. That was a great move by Hardcore Beast. And even more rangers are going away. Let's go look at that real quick. Wow, immediately the ballista countered their catapults. Now they're gone. Now that's an entire group of gold just wasted. Now the trebuchet might be out of the line of sight of that ballista. And if it is, it should get a lot more kills. Unfortunately, it just killed its own men big time. I feel very bad for them. Oh no. They really need to watch out right now. Let's go look at the fight again. Okay, Evil's losing a lot more. I mean, after that saturation of arrows that I did mention, that is where we had a huge change in what was going on. Absolutely huge. Only because it's such a killing field, so I do get that. And I usually don't defend the gates too, so they did defend a bit, but I will probably preserve a little bit more. But no, they're doing incredibly well. I mean, it's actually, outside of the friendly fire, they're doing incredibly well. For what I thought would just be a one-way street to Victory Town. A lot of people won't be having their husbands, wives, and whatnot. Or the wives will lack their husbands, and children will lack their fathers. More friendly fire. That's a shame, though, being killed by your own side. I try to avoid that whenever I can. If I ever get back to Third Age Total War, and I'm sure I will, it'll be a different day for me. It'll be so different to control that. All right, now that should be the, what? The catapult operators, right? Or just normal trolls, yeah. I mean, no matter what, they're still trolls. And now they're moving in, using giant sticks of wood planks with a bunch of spikes.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Now that is pretty good. The trolls are moving in, but they do have pikemen here who are able to hold on. They took over the inner courtyard. The ballista are still shooting. They might even take out the trebuchet. Or they might just kind of just keep on firing. They won't get as many kills by doing that. They killed a few knights. The knights are trying to be hidden away, I would assume, maybe. I don't know where they're at right now. They're not going to charge down if they have any knights. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they're over here now. You don't want to lose that. It's just really cool seeing Arnor because it reminds me of that Second Age map, playing as Arnor. The various things that you could unlock and do were it's really incredible. You could even contact some of the... Hold on, this is important now. This is where I think we're going to see a big change. Evil might not have it. If you look at good, they have a lot more. I mean, it's always easier to defend than to attack, but wow. They weren't kidding about it being epic. But we still have a ways to go. I mean, I did figure out that's the timer up on the top left, so we got a way to go.
Pray something changes in the course of battle. The defeat seems almost certain.
Majority of your enemies have been killed. I doubted them. I doubted the forces of good. I was like, you know what? They weren't doing well in the very beginning, but they were just conserving. It's probably because my mind is so wired to the newer Total War games where I'm like, wow, why aren't they all breaking? Because usually you would all break before you could do what you're doing now. Whereas here you can just have long battles because you're not going to have people breaking the whole time. You just got to kill well. You got to kill a lot quickly. Trolls are moving in. Now, I will say what did hurt the forces of evil here was not utilizing everything correctly and together. Because to be honest about it, they could have taken the walls with all their archers, potentially shot up a lot more of their infantry. They too have archers, but if you look at it, ballista or anything like that, their catapults should have been focused on their archers where they could. Now, I'm not fully aware of their line of sight, but they were able to hit a lot over here, but that definitely should have been done. I wouldn't have worried about the exterior walls too much, but they weren't also moving in together. Like you saw for a point, the Elven player moving in alone, and that could be very tough because you're being shot up alone. Like right now, they're trying to move in and they're just being shot up. And you've got trolls moving in alone, and yeah, sure, they're like the leftover crew from your catapults, but you definitely want more moving in. Now we are seeing the Olokai kicking through their own forces as they're about to strike inside and fight some more humans. They're charging in. Let's see how that will work out. I mean, we still have a lot of elite infantry who can outlast them. So while they might be mighty, they're probably not going to be mighty enough, but we still have a way to go. They're still moving through, really. Yeah, they're going after the Arnorian heavy archers, which wasn't a bad call. That's where they can do the most damage. And they're just charging right through. They clubbed right. Whoa. One guy just went flying for a little bit. And one trebuchet is now gone. Completely gone. That ballista has been used incredibly well. The Elven player did a great job using that ballista to counter the trebuchets. Now, these are heavy archers, which means they're going to be here for a little while. They're not going to be quickly killed. We've got another Olog High over here fighting. We've got a lot of their infantry left. We're still trying to fight, but so many were just kind of killed here. They were also all grouped up to let the archers saturate them, which is the only positive word that I think I can use about that. The knights are now beginning to move in. Now, they do have to watch out for their own stakes. If they do not, they could take some big hits. Now they're fighting uphill. Now, we know that Mordorian infantry is really not as good. That's why I probably would have utilized the Auric player, the Mordorian player first to actually weather a lot of their attacks. And halberds aren't going to be as handy whenever you're not really fighting a lot of horsemen. If they have armor piercing and things like that, then that is not too bad because you're fighting a lot of armored foes. Here we go. Ballista's still hitting. But they did really bring in a lot of archers, so that's why I thought maybe in the beginning they would lose way too much of their infantry. But no, they really played their cards right. They weathered them. Of course, now we're seeing not quite a comeback, but we're definitely seeing the Mordor player come back, though, just because he's been able to strike his archers. And now they're trying to move back, and they're all huddled up back here. They have like their final lines getting ready. The dismounted Dunedain Knights are getting ready for one final attack if they do make it up here. We've got Swan Knights too from Dol Amroth. When I think about it, it's really incredible the world Tolkien constructed. I mean, I've always thought about that for years. Tolkien's been in my life since I was a little boy when I first read the Silmarillion, which is kind of crazy. That was my first Tolkien book, but yeah, it was my first Tolkien book. A teacher gave me that. I think I was in like the 4th grade. It's like, what, 8 or 9? I can't remember. And I read that. Math, never my forte, but reading, yeah, I was always a little bit higher in that when I was a little boy. But when you're my age now, it's not really an incredible deal. It's like, oh, so you can read books, great, good work. But when you're that age, reading the Silmarillion or reading, you know, Robin Hood and King Arthur and Old English, kind of a neat thing to do, I guess, but I would have balanced it out with a few math skills. That would have been incredible to have. Then I would have been able to instantly count how many just died right there. But either way, I read the Silmarillion, essentially the Bible of the Tolkien universe of you know, everything that's been going on and has happened, and it's all really incredible. I really hope that one day we'll see a Hobbit remake. I know that The Hobbit has its own fans, but I would really like to see a remake. I mean, Peter Jackson, if you watch him in like the director's cut where he's talking about what was going on, he was kind of thrown into the middle of it and forced to go down a route that he didn't want to go down. He essentially had to redo all the work that was done, but was not given more time. I felt really bad for him. We know what he can do, what he's able to do. Now, I will say, like in the original 3 films, he went a little bit too CGI heavy in like the 3rd film, and there are things that aren't perfect about it, but I will say I've watched the Lord of the Rings films probably more than any other film trilogy ever. Probably The Godfather comes next, maybe. Knights are moving down. He's trying to counter the ballista, but now they're being hit by Midland nobles who are alive. And we're back to a freaking status quo type of fight. The knights have charged down. They're trying to fight now. The trolls are still here, still incredibly strong, still doing a lot of damage. I don't know what will budge, but it looks like Good's in big trouble. They still have a few Swan Knights left. But right now, it looks like the Knights of Arnor are going to be able to potentially hold on for a moment. The trolls are really going to make a huge change here. The Knights are able to somehow move on. They're going to lose more as they charge through. That's one thing I do love about the horsemen in Medieval 2. They feel like they have a lot more weight. Now, I am worried about the stakes. Please, like, if you're running away from them, they're okay. But if you do run back into them, you will not be okay. You will probably die. So their own stakes are going to cause a bit of an issue for them. And right now, it looks like the Black Numenorians are currently destroying them. And again, I know that I'm probably butchering pronunciation, but you guys can help me out with that. I would love that. Or archers have died. They're out of arrows right now. Yeah, they should be out of arrows by now. Who's going to win the fight? What a way to go. That's pretty good. Now, in the War of the Ring, which is where you have the premise of the Lord of the Rings trilogy based upon, you would have the Gondorian defenses who would fall in 3019. Then you would have the Witch King who would ride forth from Minas Morgul, and he would bring with him the armies that would actually go on to besiege Minas Tirith. So, I mean, losing CAIR ANDROS was such a big deal. But they couldn't really do much. I mean, they were easily overwhelmed. And then you would have a northern force that would move from here to go block the Rohirrim as they tried to go to Gondor's aid. But fortunately, the Rohirrim would be back to chase them away for good. My definite craving is to have more games and more things based upon the first and second age. You would need like a HBO show for that to ever be a thing. I don't know if it can ever be portrayed well, because it's not meant to have like the risqueness of, like, let's say, a Game of Thrones. But I would definitely love to see it. Just some high fantasy goodness, man. A log higher here. If we look at it right now, I don't know. I really don't know who's going to win yet. We still have a few Swan Knights who are back here. The battle's about to come to a conclusion. The Trebuchet is still firing, the one remaining. And we're just watching more and more die. things are very close right now. The music is very suitable for the fight. I will admit that much. Men of Gondor and Arnor all fighting together. I love the armor for the Knights of Dol-Imroth, or the Swan Knights. Some of my favorite armor in the game. You got a lot back here who are doing nothing. They're just waiting to get into battle. Mythla nobles are chilling out. There's 20 of them left, just kind of looking like they've got some swagger going on, standing on dead men. Lovely. Very lovely. Arnorian heavy archers are not fighting to the death. They're very tired, and they're going to fall apart soon. They're very tired. Yeah, there's Olog High definitely changed up the fight, though. There's 5 left. Way too many left. If they had some type of tool to really batter them down, that would be great. We're looking at Swan Knights here, who have yet to charge in. I don't know if they will charge in. We'll find out later if they will. So far, they have not. Right now, it's in the favor of evil. I don't think I've had a battle like that for a long time. Usually, you know, early on, you can tell. You're like, okay, I know who's going to win. Here, it's like, holy hell. I don't actually know. He had the Olog High charge in right through them again, which is devastating. At the current point that we're at, that is a devastating charge. Completely. We even have that crew from the catapult charging in. No one is safe here. Everyone's being thrown into the meat grinder. What is about to happen, though? We look at it now. We've got men who are now broken, but they're fighting to the death. They have no choice but to. Will the Knights charge in yet? They're waiting back there. Will they finally move down? It doesn't really matter. Evil may have won. It's actually very cool to watch a replay because I can now focus on the battle. I never get to do that, and here I can. I mean, I can zoom in, but not like I'm doing now, where I'm just kind of loving it.
We've lost control of the city.
That is where they'll probably lose it. Okay, the Swan Knights have finally charged in. They caught me off guard. I didn't know they were charging in right then, but we didn't miss it, thankfully. Too late now, though. They've lost way too many. If they had, like, maybe something left. Oh, hold on. They killed the enemy leader. That's really good. Kind of an interesting thing to throw in your general, though, right now. The Swan Knights are getting to become overwhelmed. I mean, they're so outnumbered right now, but they did strike a good blow by killing that leader. I don't know what's happening to the Mordorian leader, but we'll find out. Olog High, if they were gone, man, that would have changed up their game completely. Those guys alone probably did the majority of the damage from the leaders here. I mean, they do have an incredible amount of health, and they're going to do a lot of damage as they do more damage. Okay. Over here, Mythla Nobles are now fighting the Swan Knights who were able to charge in, who are still losing. No matter what, they are still losing. It looks like we're in 3019. No wonder they took it. They had help from the High Elves, man. No one told them that. But here's the battle that has gone on for a very long time now. Knights are still down here chilling out. They're like, you know what? Maybe we should go back home. They're very cool looking, too. I mean, bodies are all over the field here. So many died. Fighting at various locations. We even have a few elven archers around here. Spearmen. I don't know if the orcs have left anything back at home. Maybe not. They lost a few. The elves are hit, I think, a little bit harder. The orcs are able to conserve a lot more. We're coming down to it. It won't be good. It won't be easy. Midland nobles are here. Still fighting. The Swan Knights are now making a comeback to defeat them. We've got that catapult crew just kind of chilling out, having a good time. Yeah, the elven player, has lost the majority of his men. He's only got a few left. The Olog High alone are going to change up the fight. Otherwise, I mean, maybe the Swan Knights could pull it off on their own. There's so few left right now. But it looks like we're coming to the very conclusion of it all. They held on to their square. They had the trebuchet move into that to make sure that they could hold it. That way no one's trying to sneak. Oh, hello. We got a few men of the Blackroot Vale. I wouldn't want the job of having to clean up every body from here. That would be a nightmare. It's like, oh, well, there's all my friends who are now dead after one fight. And replay finished. That was a crazy fight. I really enjoyed that. I don't know if there's like any way for me to actually look at the kills or not. Let's go find out about that. I don't think there is. But that will conclude the battle. That was a really epic fight. And I want to thank all of you for watching that. If you would like to see more, let me know down below. Don't forget to leave down a like. And again, if you would like to send me a replay to cover, let me know. If you wanted to talk more about lore, about tactics, about whatever, let me know, because I know a lot about lore and I know a lot about tactics too. So that will all work out. Anyway, I do hope that you enjoyed that. First of many to come. And as always, until then.